Listen carefully, because this is exactly where the confusion begins. Right now, thousands of people are asking the same question you might be thinking. Is this new rule going to reduce my social security check? Is the government watching my bank account more closely? Or could this actually delay the money you depend on every single month? Let me explain this clearly, step by step, so you don't panic and you understand exactly what's going on. Because the truth is, this situation is not as simple as it sounds. And for some people, it could feel very real. Now first, let's talk about what this so-called $250 bank rule actually is. Because the name itself is already causing fear. When people hear bank rule and government in the same sentence, it immediately raises concerns. Especially if you rely on Social Security, SSI, or SSDI. You've worked your whole life. Or maybe you depend on disability benefits. This money is not extra, this is survival. So any change, even a small one, feels big. Now here's where things get important. This new rule being discussed is not about cutting your Social Security payments. Let me repeat that clearly. It is not a direct cut to your monthly benefit. But it does involve how banks monitor and handle certain transactions. And that's where the $250 number comes in. There has been growing discussion around tighter financial reporting and monitoring systems. Banks are being pushed to improve how they track unusual or structured transactions. Now, historically, larger thresholds like $10,000 were used for reporting certain activities. But now, conversations have shifted toward much lower amounts being flagged in specific situations. And that's where people are hearing about this $250 level. But here's the key detail most people are missing. This does not mean every $250 deposit is reported or blocked. It means certain patterns, behaviors, or repeated transactions could be reviewed more closely. And yes, that includes accounts where government benefits are deposited. Now pause for a second, because this is where many seniors start to worry. You might be thinking, I receive my Social Security every month. Will my account be flagged? Or, I sometimes move money between accounts. Will that cause problems? These are real concerns. And you're not wrong to ask them. Because anytime rules around banks change, it can affect how money flows. But here's what you need to understand next. Your Social Security payment itself is still protected. It is a federal benefit. It does not randomly get reduced because of a banking rule. However, the way your bank processes, verifies, or reviews certain account activity could become stricter. And that's where small delays or additional checks might happen in rare cases. Let me give you a real example. Imagine a retiree who receives Social Security, and they also transfer small amounts of money frequently between accounts, or they receive multiple deposits from different sources. Under tighter monitoring systems, that pattern might trigger a review. Not because they did anything wrong, but because the system is designed to detect unusual activity. Now again, this does not mean your money is taken away, but it could mean a temporary review. And in some cases, that might slow down how quickly funds are fully accessible. Now I want you to stay with me here, because this is where things start to directly affect you. For most people watching this, nothing will change. Your Social Security payment will still arrive. Your amount will stay the same, and your bank account will function normally. But for a smaller group, especially those who have more complex banking activity, this is where awareness becomes important. Because even a small delay, even one day, can feel stressful when you rely on that money for bills, food, or medicine. And that's why this topic is getting so much attention right now. Not because payments are being cut, but because people are afraid of interruptions. And that fear is real. Now, let's go deeper into what could actually happen moving forward. Banks are investing heavily in automated systems. These systems don't think like humans. They look for patterns, numbers, frequency, timing, and if something looks unusual, they flag it. Now combine that with government benefit deposits, and you can see why people are connecting the dots. But here's the reassurance you need to hear. Social Security payments are one of the most stable forms of income in the United States. They're scheduled, they're tracked, and they are protected. This new rule does not change the amount you receive. It does not cancel your payment. And it does not suddenly put your benefits at risk. What it does change is the environment around how banks operate. Now let me talk directly to you for a moment. If you are a senior, if you are retired, if you depend on SSI or SSDI, I know what you're thinking. You've seen changes before. You've heard announcements that turned out to be confusing. And sometimes, even small updates feel overwhelming. But in this case, the most important thing you need to focus on is this. Your benefit is still yours. Your payment is still coming. And there is no official rule that says your Social Security will be reduced because of this. Now, could there be adjustments in how banks monitor accounts? Yes. Could there be rare cases where transactions are reviewed? Yes. But those are system-level changes, not benefit cuts. And that's a very important difference. Now, let's talk about what you should actually do. First, stay calm. Don't make sudden changes to your bank account out of fear. Second, keep your account activity simple and clear if possible. This doesn't mean you stop using your money. It just means avoid unnecessary, complicated transfers that might look unusual to automated systems. Third, always check your payment schedule. Know when your Social Security is supposed to arrive. If there is ever a delay, you'll be able to recognize it immediately and take action. And finally, stay informed, because updates like this can evolve. Rules can be clarified, and sometimes rumors spread faster than facts. That's why you need clear, simple explanations like this. Now, let's come back to the big question. Is this $250 bankroll something you should be worried about? The honest answer is, you should be aware, but not afraid, because awareness gives you control. Fear creates confusion. And right now, there's a lot of confusion around this topic. But now you understand the truth. This is not about taking your Social Security away. It's about how banks are adapting to new monitoring systems. And while that can create small changes in the background, your benefits remain intact. So if you heard someone say, your Social Security is being cut because of a new bank rule, now you know. That's not accurate. And if you've been feeling worried, you're not alone. But you're also not powerless. Because the more you understand what's really happening, the more confident you become in handling it. And that's exactly why this conversation matters. Because your peace of mind is just as important as your payment. So going forward, keep things simple, stay alert, and don't let headlines scare you without understanding the full picture. And if you want clear, honest updates like this, make sure you stay connected. Because these changes are not always explained properly. And you deserve to know exactly what affects your money. Stay informed, stay prepared, and most importantly, stay confident about your financial future.